What's up, friends, and welcome into Fantasy Pros MLB. We are live on the YouTube channel, rocking the old school leading off music, by the way. That got me kind of pumped up and took me back. That was our old lead-in for any time we were doing leading off. We're in a new little place right now, but we are here live for you every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, answering your questions, and that is all that we are doing. That is it. Make sure you drop a gajillion fantasy questions in the chat because we're not talking about anything. We're going to talk about one thing. We might talk about Spencer Strider here for a second. But otherwise, we want to talk about what you want to talk about. And as people come in and we get going, if you want to guarantee that a question gets covered, we have super chats for you. And we usually guarantee it through the first 20 minutes. I would pretty much say if you drop a super chat through this entire chat, I guarantee we will get it done. Our first chat of the day is from our boy Michael Jensen, who dropped it. Drop in a super chat of whatever kind. We will star that. That will come up to the top. It gets priority. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to fill in the chat, and we will be, as we go, starring questions, putting them up here and talking for the next hour with not Joe Pisapia. That's Joe Orrico. Hello, Joe Orrico.
Hello, Chris Welsh. How you doing?
I'm doing good. This isn't our fourth show of the day that we've done, but it totally is. And we've been answering questions and doing all that stuff. So excited to hang with you guys here. It's in the books. Just want to throw this out here right now. Spencer Strider, we saw the velo kind of tick down a tiny bit. He ended up having a good fifth inning. Any initial reactions you want to throw out about Spencer Strider's first outing? Velo, a little bit up and down. Pretty good. Strikeouts were there. What do you got?
Yeah, like he didn't really maintain his velocity throughout the start. You saw in the first inning, he was hitting 97, 96 pretty consistently. And then we saw a couple of 94s, 95s, even a fastball at 93. Don't love it, but at the same time, it wasn't a disaster start by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's still getting his feet wet a little bit, and you just got to give him maybe a start or two to fully get right. But, you know, it was generally pretty positive. I just want to keep an eye on that velocity because if he's sitting 94 his next time out, then I'm going to be a little bit worried.
I'll tell you, I actually think I'm pretty encouraged because we saw the velo dip. It looked like in the third inning the most, and then it picked back up. I mean, I can look at the pitch velocities here to see what it ended up being, but they also pushed his innings, and I thought that was really key. So his last inning, yeah, the velo was down a decent amount. 93 mile an hour fastball. He actually got a swinging strike against Anthony Santander. 94. I see some, yeah. So it looked like it was up, it came down, it came a little bit back up. And then that final inning, he was sitting lower than you would want him. He didn't go over 94.5, it looks like. And he ended up getting taken out after giving up a huge Vladdy homer, Vladdy's first home run of the season, 5 2/3. I thought it was a pretty good outing. Hard hit kind of got stabilized a little bit. So if you want to talk about Spencer Strider, I think it's an all big plus here. We are down with it. You can find Joe and myself on the Twitters at JoeRico99 at Is It The Welsh for other questions. But guess what? We are here for all of it for the next hour. So let's jump into it, my friends. We got Seth on the ones and twos, and we are here with you. And of course, probably our number one of the YouTube. If we had a power ranking, Michael Jensen would have to be at the top. He drops not only the first question of the day, but also the first super chat. So big one. So shout out to Michael every single week for the support. We love you, brother. What's the better play? Stashing IL pitchers like Yuri, I got Jerry Jones, Reynaldo Lopez, or minor league ones like Zebby, Quinn Matthews, Brandon Sprott, and thanks as always. That the question as a whole, I think, is interesting, and it might be a little bit different from the names that you use, because those names that you used, I'm not sure I'm super interested in Yuri right now for the season. I got no interest in Reynaldo. Jared Jones, there's no questions. You could throw Grayson Rodriguez into that. I could get down with one if I have a timeline. Guys like Zebby was throwing 99. David Festa was incredible today, so Zebby's not going to take Festa's spot, but you know, you've mentioned Paddock kind of stinks. I think there's a little bit more upside in this stage of the season in picking up those guys, because a guy like Sprott might get an opportunity soon. Zebby is going to get an opportunity. Quinn Matthews is hurt, so maybe not him. But if you were talking about maybe a different type of pitcher, like a Kirby, the answer would be a guy like Kirby. But I don't expect Lopez or Yuri to be going anytime soon, and we don't know anything about Jared Jones. But what say you, the theory of the question versus the names of what Michael had for us?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it really comes down to a case-by-case basis. What's the injury the guy's coming back from? What's the timeline exactly? I agree that those group of names aren't the most intriguing. Yuri could be interesting. I haven't really kept up with the Yuri news. I haven't seen any.
He threw today, actually. That's, I think, probably why it comes
Okay.
up. There was video before the game that he threw some type of a live session, which, you're going to do a couple more of the, it was similar to what I think Ohtani has been doing, but I think this was to hitters, that you would ramp this up, go into a minor, you go into like some type of a rehab assignment. I guess best case scenario feels like that would be 6 weeks, maybe longer. I think it's a much later season thing. I don't think he's really that close, but was throwing, which was encouraging. So I think that's why people get kind of like jacked up about Yuri.
Yeah, I think of the injury stashes you listed, he's my favorite there. Ronaldo Lopez, they said he may or may not pitch again this season, so that's pretty dicey to hear at the beginning of April. With Jared Jones, it just feels like a situation where he's eventually going to need to have surgery. Maybe they're just pushing it down the road, similar to what happened with Garrett Cole last year. Maybe I don't love those stashes.
But another popular one is, what about Biebs? So like Michael just said, with Strider coming off the IL, he then just swapped Biebs in. It's another one where I'm like a little bit, I'm not really sure how interested, but I guess if I was, like, that would be the guy, because I think like the team is going to need him. I just don't know really what the timeline looks like. At the end of the day, it's like, the theory is, do you like stashing a pitcher that's 2 months away, that is a big time guy for that has, high end fantasy equity, the past, versus a young up and comer, and what could they do? Zebby versus Bieber is, I think, like a really cool question. Would you rather have Zebby, who could be up in the next week or two, or Biebs, who you would suspect once he's here he'll be good, but that might be a couple months?
I think I'm going to take Zebby Matthews between those two. With Bieber, coming back from Tommy John, you're not sure what the command's going to look like. There could be some setbacks. Maybe he doesn't actually pitch until, maybe it's July or August or something. You just never really know. With Zebby, it should be any day, really. Like, I don't know how much longer they want to put out Chris Paddock and Simeon Woods Richardson. One of them is going to be gone. It should be Paddock. It should be Matthews coming up. And I think that'll happen sooner than later. And his minor league numbers, we were going through it. I'm losing track of which show we talked about him on at this point today, Welsh, but we were talking about his minor league numbers, and they've been fantastic. So I think Matthews is, of all the players listed in Michael's question there, I think Matthews is probably the highest priority stash.
We got another super chat in here. Jumping to the line. Faith No More. Should I be worried about Corbin Burnes? Corbin Burnes, through 15 innings, has got an over 5 ERA. Not great. Whip way up there. Things haven't looked good. Velo has also been down on his cutter. It's down about 1 mile per hour right now. On the slider, it's down about 1 mile per hour right now. And he's just not getting, we're not seeing the big whiffs. Though the slider has a big whiff rate, as does the curveball. He's just getting hit. The velo is down a little bit. Let me look at like the K percentages if I can find it. Oh, it just went away from me. Yeah. So you had, this is probably something to do with it. Curveball and slider, 2 and 3 pitch. He has a 15% K percentage on the fastball. It's about normal. 43% on K percentage on the curveball. It's a little bit above average. Last year, he had a 39% K percentage on his slider. Can you guess what his K percentage on the slider is this year?
10.
0. 0 K percentage on his slider right now, which he's throwing about 8% of the time. He threw that 12% of the time right now. So he does not have a slider to go to while some of his stuff is down. So I'm just giving you a little bit of background. There's a storied history with him. What say you, though? Should we be worried about Corbin Burnes in the slow start?
There's nothing that I can point to that is really encouraging in the data. And it goes back a couple of years, really. I know last season, 2.92 ERA, 110 whip. It's nothing to be concerned about. It's really just the strikeouts. Going back to his 2021 season, I believe 21 was the Cy Young campaign. It was either 21 or 22. But since those years, 35% strikeout rate down to 30, down to 25, down to 23, down to 20. Every year, he's losing stuff on his strikeout rate, going all the way back to the COVID season. The Sierra, which is my go-to pitching estimator or ERA estimator, is not good, but none of them are good. The expected ERA is bad. FIP, XFIP, take your choice. They're all bad. He's given up a 54% hard hit rate. He's at 33 for his career. 9% barrel rate when he's at 6 for his career. You've talked about the velo being down. It's not looking good. Like, I wouldn't recommend buying low on him. There's some pitchers you should be buying low on. Chris Sale is probably the top one, but with Burnes, you can look back on the track record. He'll probably be okay, but there's nothing in the data that says like, oh, yep, it's a quick fix here. He's really been unlucky or anything. Like, he's just been bad. And I don't know that it's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm going to blindly kind of say that I do think he's probably a buy low. Like, should you be worried? Yeah, I think there's some worry. If you own him, you don't care about buying low. You're like, should I sell him low? I don't think so. I don't think I'd want to. I think there's tons of run support in Arizona. We've seen some really iffy starts. It could be just team wide. Fott has been kind of Zac Gallen has had up and down starts. I know there's some Zac Gallen questions that are actually, we have a super chat of coming up one here in a second, but I think there's like a team-wide thing going on that I like the idea of buying him low. I don't like the idea of selling him super low, but you are right. There's so much in the data that does not have any like supportive, like this is going to get better. My only caveat would be it's all so out of character and bad that I feel like it's not going to stick in that way. But velo being down is something that you don't love, but it is very early. I would say, if you had 0% worry coming into the season, I would say it's up to like 25 to 35% right now. And then if you have one or two more of these, then I think we have a dramatic jump, because then you're going to have, once you have like 4 or 5 starts, you have 5 starts in. I think that tells us a lot more than what like the 2 or 3 early starts do. So it's a good question. One more real quick on the super chats. You guys, appreciate you guys coming in hot with them. Should I drop Gallen for Boz, Mahle, Pivetta, or Singer? So this is, should I drop a so Gallen right now for any of these hot pitchers? This seems like a 10-team league.
I mean, I like Boz, Pivetta, and Singer quite a bit. I've talked today at length already about how I don't really buy into what Mahle's done, but at the same time, you can't drop Gallen yet. It's too soon. The numbers aren't great, but they're also not terrible, right? He's still got a 25% strikeout rate. The walks are up, which has pushed his whip up a little bit to 141. But if you're looking at, the ERA in the mid 4s, the estimators are in the mid to low 4s. It's not like DEFCON 5 like I am kind of at with Corbin Burnes at this point. I'm not encouraged, but it's just way too soon to drop him at this point.
This is going to sound wacko, and I'm totally open to this, like, being wrong, and you can remind me later what a dumb take it is. I actually think I'm more worried about Gallen than I am Burnes. And I know that's weird because Burnes has like a higher cost that was attached to him where Gallen wasn't. But there was also this, like, Gallen's the greatest deal on the planet. Gallen also has a mile down per hour on his fastball. So again, there could be something in the team that's going on. His fastball command has also been crap. And if he doesn't have the fastball command, he does not have the secondaries right now. I think Burnes is going to level out. There's something that just sits uneasy with me, but big strikeout potential when he's on. Yeah, exactly. Mike Meyer will remind me about this take a little bit later. I'm going to say I'm not going to drop Gallen for any of those guys. Those were good names. Boz, I'm super impressed with. Pivetta, I like those two specifically. Mahle wouldn't be on that list. But even in like a 10-team, I'm not going to drop Gallen quite yet, even though there's like, better dudes that are out there, for you able to like, burn and churn. I know that feels better, but I probably wouldn't jump into it. Friends, want to remind you guys that you have an opportunity to win some amazing stuff. And all you got to do is do 2 things, and it's super easy. You have to subscribe to the channel and comment on any video. We just put out a video on waivers, our trades. We've got a waiver video coming out. We do leading off every single day that is posted on the YouTube. Comment on any video and subscribe. And guess what? Right there, what you're seeing could be yours. An autographed Nico Hoerner jersey. And the steps are there. Subscribe and comment. And that is it. I think just commenting on this live stream gets you involved in it. So do it today. Win that Nico Hoerner jersey. We love giving stuff away. We got the Nico Hoerner. We got the home run contest with Sammy Sosa. Apparently we're super Cubs heavy this year. I didn't even realize that, but take this home. Nico Hoerner autographed jersey with the easiest of steps on the planet. Joey, we've got more super chats. Super chats are jumping in, so let's hit them, boys. You want guarantees on the super chats, or you want guarantees on your questions? Make sure to drop a super chat. Don't worry, we're going to be hitting everything non-super chat as well. I just don't know if we'll get to all the questions, but we will be getting there shortly. Sean says Cruz and Holliday are on the bench in a redraft 12-team roto. Outfield is Woods, Trout, Nootbaar, Acuna's on the IL. Infield is solid. Would you move Holliday or Cruz for a relief pitcher? I feel like when you say move, I feel like he's saying release, but I don't know. Maybe he's not. Either way, would you cut or trade for a relief pitcher? Let's assume it's low variety. Okay, you're not going to get, because I don't even think from a trade you're going to get anybody super high, and anyone that's on the wire is pretty low. So would you move off of either or both of those guys for some type of closer?
if you just really messed up your closers going into the season, let's say you drafted a little early and you have like Luke Weaver and Alexis Diaz and David Bednar, and you're just in a complete mess, then I could understand it. It also depends a little bit on who the reliever is. If it's, if it's some guy who's in a committee, one of the Tigers guys or something, versus like Jose Alvarado just slipped through and he's on the waiver wire. It does depend a little bit on who the name is. I think it's more team dependent, not trying to cop out, but if you're in a place where you really need saves, I have no problem with it. I think brighter days are ahead for both of those guys, though. Cruz could be going to AAA, though, at some point if he doesn't fix up.
Would you drop either? Well, did you answer? Would you drop either for Alvarado or both?
Yeah, I would.
Would you drop either for AJ Puck? You're not in on the AJ Puck. I think AJ Puck is getting the more primary saves for the Diamondbacks. I'll even throw, how about like you pick your flavor, Alexis Diaz or Emilio Pagan. Alexis just got off the IL. If you don't believe in him and they like Pagan, Puck, Pagan, Diaz, are you cutting either one of those guys or both for those relievers?
Yeah. Diaz, I don't believe in. I don't think there's a good chance that he gets that job and is great with it, because he hasn't really been that great the last few seasons. Coming into the season hurt. He had a bad outing yesterday. I'm just not encouraged. I think for Pagan, I would do it. With Puck and Martinez, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like at the end of the season. I think they're both going to end up with a good chunk of saves. Maybe it's like one of them gets 18, one of them has 16 or something like that. I feel like they're going to play the matchups a little more. Puck being left-handed, I don't know. You are the Diamondbacks guy. Welsh is going to be more locked into this, but I just feel like Puck being left-handed, there's going to be more opportunities than not, where the ninth inning is going to be a group of righties, two strong righties versus one lefty, and they're going to prefer Martinez in that role, but I think they're both viable options. I just think they're both really good pitchers. It's going to be hard to figure out that usage on a week-to-week basis if you're setting lineups.
I've been pretty firm about Puck from day one, not like just because he's gotten saves. I've been saying this since like January that I think Puck will be the primary guy, but I don't think you're wrong. I think it could be 22 saves for Puck and like 17 saves for Justin Martinez. That is a possibility for sure. I'll tell you this. Let's give a better answer on that. I think I'm okay at this point cutting Cruz, and I hate to say that. I do think he's going to bounce back. You got needs on your roster for relievers. If something like that is out there, I'm making that move. What I don't think I'm doing is cutting Cruz for like Matt Strong because he just got a random save for Philly. I'm not doing that. I think I would lean on Jackson Holliday right now. I know it hasn't been good. His expected ERA is higher. His average EV is up a mile per hour. His strikeouts are down. He hasn't really been walking yet. We need to see that have a big adjustment, but he's hitting off speed this year. He's really got to work on breaking pitches, and he's almost 100 points on the good direction of fastballs. So he's underperforming against fastballs. He's hitting 167. The expected batting average is around 250 right now. So I think you're going to see an improvement on Holliday. Cruz, I think, is really lost. Strikeouts are bad. I don't know how much the Nationals are going to hold on. So I think there's a possibility he could go. So I would start with Cruz, unfortunately, as a Cruz guy, if one of those good relievers are out there. So there you go. Big question there. We got Faith with another one, I believe. Would you stash Kershaw or Gonsolin right now? Clayton Kershaw, by the way, just threw a session at Camelback Ranch out here locally. Funny enough as well, they shut the facility down. Never seen that before, but I'm told he had asked for the facility to be shut while he was warming up and throwing, and then they opened it back up. But he had a session. He's kind of looming back. Gonsolin and Kershaw are either one of those guys that you would, in the whole pantheon of pitchers you might stash. You want either one of them?
I guess when you're Clayton Kershaw, you ask for something, you get it.
Yeah, not a big requirement. I mean, there's not that many people out there, but they don't want any schmoes. They don't want guys like the Welsh coming out and videoing it, I guess.
keep those Welshes away. Yeah, no, yeah. I think Kershaw would be where I go. Last season was the only time in his whole career that we've ever seen kind of a subpar version of him. I want to chalk it up more to the injury. And at the same time, he's old. Like Kershaw's 37. He turned 37 last month. So maybe he's just kind of done at this point. But I've never been a Gonsolin guy. I know he had a couple of really strong years, but he also was very lucky in those seasons. He was never a big strikeout guy. The command was okay, but never like amazing. He was people will look back at that 2.14 ERA season and kind of dream on it, but he was really lucky. Like a 2.07 BABIP that year, 85 strand rate. I'm just not a big Gonsolin guy. If I was going to take a chance here, it would be on the future Hall of Famer.
I just don't think it's either one of them. It might be Kershaw.
That's probably the right answer. That might be the right answer.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like I'm probably on a pass. I guess it would be Kershaw if I did either one of them, just because like give me half of a season that he'd be performing at, and maybe they'd feel better. I'll tell you, I don't know if this helps or not, but like you guys are talking about Gonsolin and Kershaw and Bieber and all them. I'd rather have David Festa if he's sitting out there. Yep. David Festa just spun a nice one. Only 9 swing and whiffs in this actual start, though. But pulling up 4 1/3, 6 strikeouts, 76 pitches. They're still building him up, so he didn't get to 5. Not a lot of hard hits. Walked 1, 5 hits. So I guess in 4 1/3 and 76, having 9 whiffs, that's not too shabby for Festa. I'd like to see him get a little bit longer of a look, but then just pulling this in here. Where did Festa go? Here we go. He was 37% fastball, 34% slider. Absolutely, literally no whiffs on his fastball, but it set up the slider and changeup 46 and 30 respectively whiff percentage. I thought it was actually pretty good, even though the numbers don't crazy pop. But Festa had that, that nasty slider that he was throwing for strikes, and I'd rather have him than stash either one of those guys if it helps.
Yeah, Festa was one of my big targets coming into the season, and it looks pretty good. Now, I was kind of upset that he didn't get the opportunity to go for the win, but he loaded the bases, and then Juan Soto was coming up, so I kind of understand why they went to the pen.
All right. Again, you guys, Sebastian, you just hit a super chat, but I don't see a question. So our boy Seth, as soon as you drop your question, you didn't do it with it, we will get to your question. But I was about to literally say, hey, super chats are down, so we're going to start hitting the chat on what we started. You guys want the guarantee, hit the super chat, and we'll get Sebastian. But let's go to Henry. Henry said, J-Rod, Bichette, Luke Jackson for J-Ram, Tovar, and Hensley. What side do you want? So you got the upgraded closer on the second side. You got the best overall player in J-Ram, but J-Rod and Bichette, that is a big core. So what side of this would you want?
Probably would go with the J-Rod side. It's fairly, I think it's relatively even, but I'm kind of not really a believer in Tovar. Hensley does have some potential injury risk with his history of shoulder problems. J-Ram is elite, no question. But then J-Rod is a potential first-round guy. Bichette's not going to be a first-round guy, but I think Bichette's like a top 50 or 60 player this year probably. Just needs to start getting the ball over the fence. But he's hitting over 300. He's getting multiple hits all over the place. And then Luke Jackson, I don't think the ratios are going to be great, but he might get 30 saves this year. I think I'm taking the J-Rod side. Is that where you are?
Yep, I'm on the same side here. As much as I'm also not a Luke Jackson guy, Bruce Bochy is, and that's all that matters. And he's getting save opportunities for the Rangers. So I don't think it's even that far off of Hensley. It's not enough for me to be like, I have to get the extra saves from Hensley. Like, they're probably not going to be that far off. Bichette over Tovar, J-Ram over J-Rod, but, I'll still go with the 2 high-end side. Bichette, kind of underperforming right now. A lot of metrics looks good. He just doesn't have counting stats, and I think that's going to change here in the near future. Good question. All right, so this was our question from Sebastian. I didn't know if is it in the chat somewhere where we can?
Yeah, I'll pop it up here.
There we go. Oh, yeah, you found it. There we go. I got 4 first basemen, Vladdy, Rice, Torque, and Soderstrom. Should I trade for James Wood or like a Schwarber? So here's the only problem with that. I don't think you can get either one of those guys without Vladdy in the trade, and I don't like doing that. I would much prefer to move off of a absolutely blistering hot Soderstrom. I kind of don't want to trade Ben Rice. I'd love to trade Soderstrom and Torkelson to move up for something, but I don't think you can get James Wood. Do you agree with me? There's no chance you can get James Wood in this scenario unless you're trading Vladdy? Or do you think like Rice and Soderstrom could get that done? Because I don't.
So tricky to get into the head of another manager, but I did see a guy talking yesterday on Twitter. He was a fantasy writer. I forget which site, that he tried to trade Soderstrom for Vladdy, and the Vladdy manager the Soderstrom manager did not want Vladdy in return for Soderstrom. He wanted to keep Soderstrom. I don't know. Every day I see things that puzzle me. I would try Soderstrom and maybe another piece for James Wood and see what the response is. Because Soderstrom, like, there are a lot of people who really rely on those numbers that they see on their fantasy app, see like to date season rankings. And Tyler Soderstrom is the number 4 ranked player in fantasy right now. So there might be some people who look at that and say, holy crap, I'm getting a first round player back here. I doubt it, but maybe it's Soderstrom plus a small second piece for Wood or for Schwarber. I would do that if you could do it.
If you can do it, sure. If you can trade, I'd be honest with you, even trading Rice and Soderstrom to get, if it's like a smaller league and it consolidates your roster and you obviously you're not starting all these guys, you could probably do that. I just really like Ben Rice. I would, if you could do Torkelson and Soderstrom in a heartbeat, I'm going to just be honest. I just don't think like Soderstrom and anything but Vlad get that done. But if you can, you should do it. And I would look to have some type of consolidation. Good question there, Sebastian. All right, let's go back to the top of the list. Ryan, Bregman's on the paternity list. Would Junior Caminero be a good replacement until Bregman returns? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's on the wire. It's wild
Yeah.
if he's on the wire. Pick him up.
One of those, what was it? One of those 6-man leagues we had somebody ask a 6-man league question in Discord and like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. How about this? A great question. Chris Bassitt, are you a buy? Chris Bassitt struck out 10 Braves today. It's the most strikeouts in 5 or less innings pitched that he's had in his career. He is off to an insane start. One of those guys I will fully admit I kind of dismissive of very early in the season. He's having great results. So what say you? Are you know, the buy high probably isn't like crazy over what he's doing, but it's more than the inherent cost. Are you into buying? Are you buying Chris Bassitt and what he's doing right now?
I am to some extent, but you're not going to see these type of games all season long, especially from the strikeouts. Like 10 today, he had 9 against the Mets. He had 7 in his first start against Baltimore. That's not going to maintain. For his career, we're talking about a 22% strikeout rate guy. He's like right at league average. The last 3 seasons at 22 in each of the years. Is he suddenly going to be like above 30? No, that's not happening. I think if I was going to be in a camp, it would be probably into the sell camp. Not that I'm saying like you have to, he's going to be terrible, because a lot of the supporting metrics are pretty strong. The Sierra is good. I do think that the strikeouts are a good sign. But I think buying him right now would be paying peak cost for Chris Bassitt. I think if I had to lean one way or the other, it would be more towards selling or holding him.
So something that's not going to be sustainable here, his cutter last year, really good 32% strikeout rate, has a 61% K percentage right now. So that's going to taper. Even if these pitches get better, that's going to taper down a little bit. His curveball is up this year as well, whiff and strikeout percentage. And the curveball seems to be really good. Fastball velo is down. His sinker velo is down like a full mile per hour right now. And his four seam is down 2 miles per hour. But this also might be the transference of a guy that's like, I'm a commandy pitcher and I'm going to throw you some of this other stuff. But the usages look relatively similar, except I did notice this split finger. Split finger is the 4th most used pitch. He's double downing on that. And why that's very unique and special is that is going to change the trajectory of that sinker. So if you've got, let's just say split fingers are a little bit more like change ups, but he's throwing a sinker. So if you've got a sinker, you're throwing at 91, and then you've got a split finger. I wish I can't show this on here, but you've got almost a identical. Yeah, you've got an identical look here. If you go on Baseball Savant, look at the movement profile of induced break on pitches. And what's unique about this is he's got this sinker that he throws a ton. And then guess what? Almost save movement profile is this split finger that he's throwing more, but it goes like 7 miles an hour slower. So you've got these now 2 pitches that are working in conjunction with each other. And then you're dropping a curveball on everybody and killing them. And that is a nasty movement pitch. It's got some of the most insane movement and break that you're going to see out there. So what I'm getting at is like, the profile of what he's doing right now is actually really unique. That's making him a little bit more strikeouty. I kind of do buy what's going on here, but I'm not buying high. His expected ERA is in the 3s. His fastball and his velos are down. I think that's worrisome. He's going to regress to these numbers, but the split finger might kind of change the profile of what his just pitch looks like. And that might be screwing everybody up because again, you're throwing sinkers and you're throwing split fingers and you're throwing changeups, all similar trajectory that's making the curveball even better. So yeah, kind of a buy. So a lot of ways to talk about it. It's always tough to do these shows too, because I've been doing some live streams on my ITL Twitch where someone brings up a player and then I just want to sit there for like 10 minutes and just outwardly talk about what we're seeing. And you can't quite do that here, but that's kind of what I just did with Chris Bassitt. I think there's some interesting stuff in the profile. Fantasy Sports says, is Tyler Mahle a real deal? The real deal. Should I drop any of Gavin Williams, Wisniewski, or Jackson Jobe for him? What's say?
I wouldn't. I'm not really that impressed by Jobe. I think the strikeouts are going to be a problem for him, at least for the time being. But Mahle, I think this is more just a luck-based good couple of starts. And the fact that it's coming at the beginning of the season gives people more hope than they probably should have. 178 BABIP. He has not allowed any home runs, 88% left on base rate, sub-1 ERA, sub-1 WHIP. I just don't buy it.
Yeah, not over those guys either. I'm okay with it. I think he can be interesting. I'm not sure the strikeouts are going to fully be there, but Rangers are going to be better. They're going to get wins. I think there's something there with him, but based off of those players, no, I'm not that much of a buy in on him. You guys want to buy some extra construction of your lineups? Make sure to check out My Playbook. Manage your fantasy baseball lineups and dominate your leagues with My Playbook from Fantasy Pros. My Playbook, it's a powerful suite of tools that are going to make you help you make better decisions, manage your lineups, and win your leagues. You can import your team to get custom fantasy baseball news, rankings, and analysis. So just go and sync your leagues today at fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook and download the Fantasy Baseball My Playbook app. So you can go on web or the app, sync them up, get personalized news and information to help your leagues. Who wouldn't want that? Go and check it out today. Let's get back to some more questions here. CD says, would you rather have Kevin Gausman or Zac Gallen rest of season? Your team versus my team. What do you think?
Let's bring it north of the border. It's got to be Gausman for me. He's looked really good. He's gotten back to that form of a couple years ago. Maybe not all the way back. I don't know that we're going to see him, go for Cy Youngs like he was, in contention for a couple years ago. But he looks really, really good so far. Some of the luck metrics are also going his way, but I think what we've seen so far is relatively legit from him. And I think with Gallen, we've talked about the concerns. I just don't have them as much with Gausman at this point.
You might be shocked, but I think I'm Gausman too on this. Like, I might be too panicky about Zac Gallen. Part of it is just I watch all his starts, and I was live at the first one, and just things seem off. It's super early, so I got to be honest with you. It would be really hard for me if you were like, you got to pick between one of these guys and you got to cut one. I don't know if I could come to terms with cutting Zac Gallen, because the 13 strikeout performance is also the best case scenarios. Like when he's on and he's commanding his fastball and he can get to his secondaries, things are amazing. But it's so much worse than it's ever been when the fastball is not going on. If this is just like, one of these guys I want to bench more and start, like I like what Gausman is doing. The fastball looks good. He's actually not even getting big whiffs on the split finger right now, which when that starts going, things are going to be even better, but he's not walking anybody. Strikeouts are a little bit up. The expected ERA is only into the low threes. So I would say Gausman right now. That one hurts. It absolutely hurts. I think we had, we'll just have to fit it in. Our boy Fantasy Football Bible School put a super chat in without a question. So put that back in the chat. Seth will look for it. We'll start and we will get back to you. Renee, not sure what to do with Cam Smith. Is he worth holding? I dropped Jackson Merrill last year about this time and hugely regretted it. Ooh, yes. So don't drop Jackson Merrill. What say you about Cam Smith, though? You dropping Cam Smith? Is he going the way of Matt Shaw?
Oh, man, I don't know that we're quite there yet. The interesting thing there at that comparison is that Cam Smith could have been and still potentially could be like a Jackson Merrill type of player, but I don't know that it's coming in the immediate future. If you're in did we get a specification on how big the league is? I don't think we did in the chat here. But I think in most cases, if it's like a 15-team league, I'd probably hold on. But if you're in a 10-teamer, 12-teamer, even standard roster sizes, I think you can churn that spot.
10-team, I definitely buy. 15, there's no chance. I don't think I would do it in 12-team. There's just some encouraging stuff. It always depends. This question is so tough because people like you blanketly ask, like, should I get rid of this player? And it's like, but for what?
Who's the
like you could be, I'm not great with this player. The answer is different if maybe, well, Jonathan Ron is an interesting one to throw out there. I know there's lots of questions about him, but it's different if Ben Rice is out there. If you're like, hey, Ben Rice is out there, should I drop Cam Smith? Yep, you should drop him tomorrow. But if it's like, hey, Jorge Polanco's out there, should I pick him up? I don't know. I'm not sure that I would. His expected batting average is actually okay. It's 240, 40 spots higher than he's currently rocking. He's leveled out on the big hard hits, but also the average EV is coming back up. He's barreling a bit. He's not getting it in the air, but he's also almost a 10% walk guy, and he's striking out right around 25%. So I think he's just still learning. It's a really great environment. If I have the ability to hold on, probably trying to hold on. I know not everybody has to do that, and you don't want to let like you cutting Jackson Merrill last year be the reason why you just hold on to dudes for too long. But like Cam Smith, I'd hold on to. I'm not holding on to Matt Shaw anymore. Like if you move on in pretty any format right now, you don't need to hold on. But I don't think Cam Smith is going anywhere, though they do have some minor league guys that are pretty interesting. So the Smitty, Max Meyer or Mahle in a 10-team head-to-head category league. How awful this question is asked to us before a Max Meyer start against the Arizona Diamondbacks, but what say you? This is probably Meyer no matter what, right?
On a day where I'm taking a bet for Meyer as well, yeah, it's Meyer for me for sure. I really, really like him. This breakout should have happened a year ago if the Marlins were a competent organization, but we're getting it now, and I'm buying into it.
Is Spencer Torkelson trustworthy to keep on my team for the foreseeable future? Again, that's a broad question. Yeah, I think so, but what does that mean? Like, if you trust a 240, 250 hitter with 30 plus home run potential, yes, we know what the bads are. I'm holding on to him unless there's a Ben Rice or a Soderstrom or a Victor Scott or something like that. I'm not cutting him because someone cut Matt Shaw or here's a great one. Spencer Torkelson or Jonathan Aranda rest of season.
Oh, I'd probably go with Aranda. I'd probably go with Aranda. I actually, between shows, I put up a poll on Twitter. Which first baseman do you like the best? Rice, Aranda, Torkelson, or Soderstrom? And Aranda got 10% of the vote, so Torkelson got 17.
Okay, so public is a little bit on the Torque side. Did Ben Rice win that, please? Or did you have Soderstrom in there?
I had Soderstrom in there, and I debated putting him in there, but then he's got 57% of the votes. I probably shouldn't even put him in there. But who knows? It's still middle of April. You never know what's going to happen. But.
Was Ben Rice number 2?
Ben Rice came in at 15%. So it's actually Soderstrom, Torkelson, Rice, and then Aranda.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right. Here we go. This is the fantasy football Bible school. Joey P is the SP. Not even here. Welsh gets the hold while Joey P is on the way. Welsh holding down the fort. Joey. Oh, do we have a song? Joey O getting the save, saving Joey P's spot till he gets back. No question here. Good job. Let's go A's. Nice. I love that. I felt like a poem was about to happen. Hold on. Joey P is the SP. Welsh gets the hold while Joey P is one away. I would kind of be the spot starter, if we're being honest with you. Welsh holding down the, I guess, yeah, you are the spot starter. Joey O getting the save, saving Joey P. I felt we had this thing that happened the other day, and Pizza Pia loved it. He loved it. Someone wrote a full-on poem in the comments, and it kind of just threw me up. Yeah, we should have put this up. It kind of threw me. I was like, oh, this is interesting. He lost his mind about it. I don't know if they used AI or something like that. It was his favorite thing on the planet. And by the way, if anybody is asking, I've already been texting with Joe, and we almost met up today. He's just tooling around, but I will be seeing him in the next day or two. He's out here in Arizona, and I was like, did you make it safe? And what are you eating? Because, you're clearly going to be eating out here. But Joey P is all but so close to me. Fantasy Football Bible School, appreciate you, man, with the support. That is awesome. We got another one in here. Hey, Jensen's back. One more small one. My corner infielder is McMahon/CES. Is Wilmer Flores sustainable rest of season? He's the only corner infielder free agent that's of any interest in my league. Not for McMahon, but dude, I might legitimately cut CES for Wilmer Flores. Like, I have a hard time believing when you say, is he sustainable? He's not sustainable to keep his pace, but can he drop 20-something homers and kind of keep in this lineup and go? Yeah, I kind of think he is. So I'm okay with dropping CES for Wilmer. What say you?
I don't love it, but I understand it. Wilmer Flores has already hit 6 home runs somehow. He hit 4 last year in 71 games. So there is a part of me that kind of doubts it. But CES, it's been pretty terrible so far. I mean, his OBP is $179. It's a couple of homers, but I mean, I would lean towards just holding CES. I think the upside is still a lot higher, but I would understand making the move.
Yeah, and sometimes this battle between like the upside of what we can get in a month versus what we can get now and what's sustainable, those are the most difficult questions to answer right now. Smaller the league, the easier the cut is. The deeper the league, the harder it is to lose on potential upside. There's a reason that Wilmer Flores is still available. A lot of people don't fully buy into him, what moves they can end up making. It's not a hitter-friendly environment, but, he has been pretty clutch and he's been pretty consistent. If Wilmer Flores hit 20 homers this year, no one's going to really bat an eye. And he's just one of those like boring names that's kind of sneaky, but he does not have the upside of a guy like CES. if CES gets going. That's the big key. Friends, I love having you guys here on YouTube, but we would love to have you also live with us Monday through Friday. We are live, but it's no longer on YouTube. We're on Twitch. The episodes come up about an hour after. You can catch Joey P and myself, except this week when it's Joey O and myself live on Twitch, twitch.tv/FantasyPros, 12 p.m. Eastern every single day, where we are talking with you guys more than we've ever done before. We are breaking down the latest news, looking at prospects. We've got bets, home run boards, and we've got a whole set of unique, cool, like emojis that are happening. If you were on Twitch, you can take our emojis and go to other channels. You can earn channel points in there. We've got subs. We got a lot of cool things that we're doing there. So come and join us live. But if you can't, don't worry. The episodes come up within the hour, right? Every time on YouTube, right here on the channel. But check us out on the Twitch. It's up in the air if Joey is going to be able to do a live show with me, because it takes all of my technical prowess here. So I'm uncertain if I can sell anybody that we will be doing a live show tomorrow. But if not, you'll get me and Joe Orrico, and Piece of Peel will continue his vacation that I know he's absolutely loving right now. Though I don't know if traveling to Arizona in April is like the best. It's like 80 to 90 every single day. It's a little bit hot.
Yeah,
so
it was minus temperatures in Toronto yesterday. Celsius.
Yeah, that's Celsius though. That's
it's probably like a 30-degree day or something, 25, 30. Like I would take 80.
That's like your math thing again. You're like, oh, I got an A. I got 85%. It's like, nah, it's a B, dude. All right, Troy says, should I drop JT Ginn for Logan Henderson? It's a prospect question. I don't know if you want me to hit it. JT Ginn has been really impressive. He's been on my list. I really like Logan Henderson personally. I think those two are interchangeable. Ginn also pitches in an environment that we really don't like with the A's. I'm comfortable doing that move.
Yeah, I don't have I think it's probably a streaming spot at the end of the day. It's a place you'll probably be using to pick up guys throughout the season. I don't have a problem shooting on the upside, though.
Okay, we're down with it. Making sure. Taylor, I didn't even see this. We've got a super chat in here. You guys are killing the super chat. Joe, by the way, I kind of told Joe this yesterday. You guys are, if you want to ruin Joe's time, if that's something you want to do, you guys are doing a good job. Yesterday's Twitch was the highest live views we've had, and Joe was gone. And I texted him, and he went, "Oh no, it's because I'm not there." And I said, "Nah, Joe, this is the number one in-season super chats we've had on an in-season show, guaranteed, and we're rocking good numbers. So if you want to make Joe Piece of Pia feel squirmy because there's another Joe in town, keep up the good work. Keep up
Wally pipped, baby.
Yeah, he's getting Wally pipped. He's not going to like it. He's going to come back mean and strong. Taylor says, no fantasy baseball question. What do you think happens first in the StatCast era? 124 mile per hour exit velocity off the bat, or a 107 fastball? What a damn good question. Because I'm the OCD of me, for some reason, I wish you would have said 125 miles per hour, but that's fine. 124 exit velocity or 107 fastball. Killer question. I'll let you go first.
It is a great question. I think I would say that the exit velocity is more likely than the 107 on the fastball. Didn't Jack hit one 120 the other day? Caglianone?
120 point something. And you know what another great one would have been? Like, do like a 500-foot homer. Because I've said this story before, but Jack in the AFL hit a ball that he told me the next day, their data in the dugout said it was over 500 feet. Like, he just murders baseballs. But yeah, he hit a single or a line out like 121. So we haven't pushed 120. We got 122 maybe. I don't know if we got close to 124, but I believe Ben Joyce said he wants to. Wasn't it Ben Joyce that said he wants to hit 107? Because he's hit like 105. So
yeah,
it's tough because it's like a mile and a half per hour. It doesn't seem like a lot, but to add that on top of 105, 105 and a half. All right. So what's your pick? You're gonna go exit?
I would go exit velocity. I think that they'll both happen eventually, but I think exit velocity happens first.
Man, I mean, with the torpedo bat and the barrels moving, maybe that changes some stuff. I'm gonna say velo. I'm gonna go with the velo. I think the safe answer there is the exit velocity, but I feel like we're capping. Like we've got, and not like we're lying, like we're capped out. Like you've got some of the biggest, strongest hitters on the planet, and we can't, we're pushing 120, 121. That's all that we're doing. Like, how much better is Jack going to have to hit a ball to fly out of there? Now, maybe in the the summer or something like that, and some BP type of fastball. But I feel like a guy like Ben Joyce, a singular inning reliever, is going to touch 107, but it might be like 106.8 or 9 and it's rounded up. I'm going to go with the exit velocity. Great question. If you guys got to put it in the chat. I'm not looking at the live chat. Curious what any of you guys are saying. 122.4 from O'Neill and 15, I think, was the fastest. What do you guys think? Exit velocity or miles per hour? Great question. One of my favorite questions.
That was the hardest hit ball, and Stanton's hit a couple at 122. So 124 feels reachable.
Yeah, it does. But again, like I feel like we're not making moves on that. Where Velo, we are. Aroldis is hitting 105. Ben Joyce is hitting 105. The problem is we don't have a lot of like 3 and 4 guys. There's only a few players we can pick from. But Velo is getting bigger and bigger. The torpedo bat's the differentiator here. Great question. Love to see what your guys' take is. Sebastian back here. Any thoughts on this relief pitcher, Ryan Helsley, Alvarado, and Mason Miller? Drop for somebody like Hoffman, Finnegan, or keep those, or any relief pitcher. I mean, this is the 16-team league. There we go. So really, this is who would you rather have, Hoffman or Alvarado or Helsley?
I think I'd stick with Alvarado, but I think it's pretty close with him and Hoffman. He has a lot more competition for the job than Hoffman does. Yimi Garcia is kind of the only other guy that could potentially save games in Toronto. Maybe Chad Green, but probably not. Or with Alvarado, I mean, Romano has looked really good these last few appearances. Strom got the save yesterday. We know Ryan Kirkering has nasty stuff. So there's an easier path for Hoffman to not lose that job at any point. But at the same time, Hoffman failed a couple physicals coming into the year. So I don't know how comfortable I feel with him. I think it's pretty close. If it was my team, I'd probably stand pat with who you have.
Maybe. I think I might go Hoffman, but it would be tough to make that move. I think they're pretty lateral. Hoffman maybe has longer term. Maybe since it's a 6-team league, at the end of the day, though, it's like you're playing in 6 teams. There's so many great guys out there. You could stream it. So maybe look at matchups. If it's a good week for Alvarado, you can kind of move between. This actually had me thinking when Brandon was saying, I'm taking a different direction. He says, I think the 124 would be it. The faster pitching would also help that, right? How about this? How about a 107 fastball comes in and gets crushed 125 in the same at bat? Let's get both of those to come in. That would be badass. That would be really, really sweet. Curious at what you guys have to say, though. Again, great question from Taylor. We are in the kind of 10-ish minute. We're going to kind of start lightning rounding it. So you are welcome to throw in a super chat. We will definitely get to it. Analysis might be a little bit shorter, but we're going to go into lightning round so we can answer tons of questions. So our analysis will be a tiny bit shorter. We got a big old queue, but you feel free to drop questions, and our boy Seth is putting them in. Orrico, are you ready to go lightning round? Ludicrous mode.
For a very verbose guy, I'm going to have to be quick. Let's do it.
Quick. 10-team head-to-head. Jordan Walker, Meisner, or Cam Smith?
Jordan Walker.
Meisner. Not going to like that. I'm going to go Meisner. Would you trade Rengifo for Bohm?
Don't see there being a huge difference in value there. I'd probably stick with Rengifo, but it's about even.
If I want like RBI runs, Bohm is better for that. Stolen bases, probably Rengifo. Average is still there. What did so you are 2 peanut butter and jelly? Good combo. Joey P may have to go to the bullpen. Get out of here, Joe. Stay with Donnie. Ryan, should I sell Gunnar Henderson?
If you're getting back a top 20 player, then yeah. But other than that, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, unless you're getting Ellie. No, I don't think so. 10-team head-to-head points need to clear a spot to bring back Strider. Didn't you already do that? Would you offer Bregman? Oh, I see what you're saying. Would you offer Bregman and Springs for Hunter Brown? Still have Caminero and Jazz at third. Springs has been held up by run support wins. I don't like trading Bregman in this, to be honest with you. I don't think you need to offer Springs to get Hunter Brown. I'm going to say no. What say you?
I agree with you. I'm on your side here.
Okay. Letter, surprised you didn't bring up your boy Corbin Carroll in today's earlier broadcast. It's funny.
We were going to.
We literally had talked about Corbin Carroll in the Discord show as a backup if we didn't have a lot of questions. But the changes he's made in his swing, you guys are seeing it. He is getting to the ball faster, which is key, but he's not stealing bases, which is absurd. And it has nothing to do with anything. Like, he's just getting on base and not stealing. I would love to find out why. But Corbin Carroll is the truth.
His shoulder's healthy.
Just reminder right there. There's Corbin and Witt. I got a good combo there. I have I think I've told people this. I have a Ha-Seong Kim jersey. Sadly, now not with the Padres, but I have a number 7 Ha-Seong Kim that I want to put up there. and I just need to put all number 7. So if you guys have any other good 7s I need to get, it's like a slot machine. We're just going for 7s for literally no reason. I have no connection to 7. My birthday's on the 22nd. None of my kids have a 7 anywhere. So I don't know. It's just random. Should I drop Vinny P to stash Kurtz in a points league? No, not in a points league. Should I trade? Should I try to trade away Devers, and what should I get for him? Trade him, and is there somebody you can think of?
I mean, he's kind of rebounded. I don't know that it means the shoulders are just fully healthy now, but I think he's going to be pretty okay. If I'm trading him, I want like a 3rd or 4th round player back. It would have to be somebody close to where he was getting drafted. A top 50 type of player I'd need back for him.
Word on the street is Joey O is hot like Kurtz this season. Pisa Pia better start taking reps in the outfield. Well, you know how that's going to go. As soon as football season comes around, we gotta press Joe. So Joey P, so we don't lose him. But if we do, we got this Joe. Josh, points league catcher, Keeper Ruiz or Salvi?
I love Keybear, but I'd still go with Salvi.
Yeah, I know Salvi isn't quite as enticing in a points league, but I'm still gonna go with him for sure, just because of the high offensive upside. Where were we? Meisner's available. Would you drop Tolia or Cruz for him? Really trying to hold Tolia and Cruz, but they've been unplayable. As the resident and maybe only person that liked Tolia this year and singularly looks stupid, again, pick on me about Tolia. I would drop Tolia for Meisner. I love Meisner's hitting profile right now. And even if Tolia starts getting going, like what Meisner's doing, I think is sustainable. So I would drop him in that scenario. And if you can, maybe hold on to Cruz in that one. All right. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Lightning round's going well. Stan, Polanco or Lau at second? He's got Christian Campbell as well. And this is head-to-head points.
I'm keeping Campbell and Lau and dropping Polanco most likely, depending on the roster construction.
Agreed. Which side of this trade do you like? Turner and Pete Armstrong for Lindor and Terang? I think I like the Lindor side.
I think it's pretty even, but
it is.
I'll probably go with the Lindor side, yeah.
I mean, Pete Crow's the better second piece, but I like Lindor over Turner. So, all right, we already had that one. Skywalker, how do you rank these SPs? Zebby, Bubba Chandler, Gavin Williams, and Job.
I don't even like Gavin Williams, but he's probably at the top there, followed by Zebby, followed by Job, and then Chandler.
What did you? I'm sorry. You said what? Gavin? I didn't.
Williams, Matthews, Job, Chandler.
I would go Williams, Chandler, Job, and Matthews, but I think they're all pretty close. Gavin might be a little bit above, and the others are a tier. Williams, Chandler, Job, Matthews. That's a tough one. We already saw that one. Let's see. This is from Not So. Hey, Chris, Joe, appreciate you guys. Joe, many of my drafts online were similar to yours. We might win anyway, LOL. I don't know if you guys talked about Cody Bellinger. Is there any legitimate concern? This is a tough one for lightning round, but is there anything on Bellinger that has you concerned, or, you just shoo it off? He's hitting 180 with 1 homer, 2 stolen bases, hitting the crap out of the ball, but he is back to striking out 30% of the time right now.
The strikeouts are pretty miserable. I don't know if that's something that's going to stick, but the swinging strike rate at 15%, we've never seen that kind of number from him. A little bit worried, but nowhere near dropping or selling him for a huge discount or anything like that. But a little bit concerned, yeah.
I got Chris Bassitt in 4 of my 6 leagues. Are we selling high or holding? I think we talked about that at the beginning. I feel like we're probably holding, but
probably
this comes back to that. What can you get? If you can get something solid, I'm interested.
See what the market's like, put them on the block, and see if you get a nice offer that you can't say no to.
If you got offered Kyron Paris, would you do that for Bassitt?
I think I would just keep Bassitt.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably need. It's an interesting one. Bible School said, first year back doing fantasy baseball after 10 plus years. Like to give thanks to the Welsh. Thank you, man. I took a lot of your advice in my draft and did well. All uppercase on Welsh, not the upper L on it. Garrett Crochet. Thank you. That is a real hardcore listener that knows what it's about, picking on me about Crochet. Yeah, I was actually surprised that there was no uppercase L today, especially after my betting yesterday, but I appreciate you, dude. Is Luke Jackson and Pagan closer role somewhat safe? Pagan, no. Luke Jackson, Simi, yes.
I am more confident in Pagan than Welsh is. I think that he's the closer. I think they're both the closers, personally.
I have shares, so I hope you're right. That would be fantastic for me. Is Michael Busch the ultimate first base waiver wire pickup? Had Burleson or Nate Lowe after trading Betts and Alonso. I don't think we can say that in a world that has had Tyler Soderstrom and Ben Rice. So no, but I think I would rather have Michael Busch than Spencer Torkelson. And I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I would have Busch under Soderstrom and Ben Rice.
Under Soderstrom and Rice. Yeah, I think I'm on the same page with you here. I think if the option is to drop Burleson for him, I think I would do that.
I would too. Now, who would you rather have, Busch or Aranda?
Aranda, but it's close. It's really close.
I'll go Busch, but I think that is really, really super close. 100%. In an 4 outfielder category league, pick 2 of the 3: Kerry Carpenter, Jesus Sanchez, Austin Hayes. I will pick the first 2.
Man, Carpenter and Sanchez are it's like a Sophie's choice with those two. But Austin Hayes, if he's cleaning up in Cincinnati, he might be a sneaky 25 homers, good, decent batting average. I think I would say to drop Sanchez just based on the supporting cast and not a great park around him.
I love Sanchez, though.
I've
really
loved him
interesting.
for a long time,
and he's back. I can't. Austin Hayes is a tough drop. Kerry Carpenter is a super platoony player, but I think his bat's ridiculous. So it's a tough one, but I'm going to put down Austin Hayes. Put him down. Matt, in a dynasty league, would you rather have Lazaro, Braden Montgomery, or Spencer Jones and Hope? This is probably a me question.
It's a Welsh question. Yeah.
You're speaking to, this is a really tough one. I love Spencer Jones more than anybody. Newest Prospect One podcast, which is coming out later today. I have Beck from Dynasty Dugout, and we talk about Spencer Jones and his addition of adding torpedo bats. I love Spencer Jones. I think I would go the Jones and Hope side, but Montes and Braden Montgomery probably equivalently rank higher. So that's super, super difficult. I love Braden Montgomery. Man, the more I'm looking at it, I kind of want to say Montes and Montgomery, but Zaire Hope's a monster. Let's go with my initial gut feeling of Jones and Hope, but there's a lot of risk with Spencer Jones and the strikeouts. Montes is a big boy going nuts. Braden Montgomery is a freaking monster. So love those guys. All right. Sorry. That was not lightning round. All right. We got 3 or 4 minutes. We're going to lightning round these. Zebby or Nick Kurtz? Nick Kurtz,
but those are the 2 top priorities right now.
Even if you need pitching, though, it's still Nick Kurtz. Soler or Austin Hayes?
Start. So I'm assuming this is a today question. I'm taking Soler going up against Patrick Corbin. He's my home run call for today.
He is your home run call. And I got Mike Trout. Who are you more confident in, Alexis Diaz or Bednar to regain the closer role? I'm going to say Diaz. I have to think is going to say Bednar. I don't think Bednar gets it back, though.
I think it is Bednar personally. I think that in a couple weeks he'll be back up. Pittsburgh doesn't really have any other really viable closer options. I thought they were a little premature sending him down. I know it's supposed to be lightning round. I would choose Bednar between the 2 of them.
I like Dennis Santana. Anyone buying Key Brian Hayes this year? Nope. We're not doing that. His StatCast data always looks great, and it's always a failure. Many years of me and Eno looking at and oohing at his StatCast page, and it always is a fake. Big, fat, phony. Faith in Bowden Francis rest of season or drop him for Zebby? It's a question for you.
I'd keep him. I'm a little bit encouraged by what we've seen so far. I feel like there's still some luck at play going back to the couple of almost no hitters, but he's pitching well. I'd keep him over the guy in AAA for sure.
I'm down with that. Who should I trade? Jarren Duran. Who should I trade? Jarren Duran, Jordan, James Wood, or Ronald Acuna. You have Carroll too. Don't trade any of them. You're amazing. This is an amazing roster. Yeah, you're golden, Pony Boy. I don't know. Maybe James Wood, rookie, getting off to a hot start. Jordan with the injury risk is super scary. Maybe there's a part of me that says, give me the one with the best return, but I'm not trading Carroll, and I'm probably not trading Acuna in this. So look at Duran, Jordan, and Wood, and let's see what type of offers you get back. Yeah. Is Tatis a first rounder next year? Yes.
Tatis might be 101 next year.
No.
Fernando Tatis?
Over Ohtani?
Tatis might go 40-40 this year. He was going to be a top 5
Well,
pick.
Ohtani went 50-50 last year, so.
Okay, you're not wrong, but I think maybe I'm exaggerating, but he's like a top 3, top 4.
I think he'd be a top 5. I think he'd be a top 5 player for sure. When might we see Ha-Sung Kim? Or Haisung. This is the Dodgers, not Ha-Sung. This is Haisung. I don't think anytime soon. I think he's transitioning from outfield, middle infield. They cut him pretty early. I would say like mid-ish year would be when we'd see him.
I'd hope for sooner because he's doing pretty well in the minors. Get Chris Taylor the hell off of that roster and bring him up already, but I probably won't be that soon.
Is it too early to panic on Riley Green? We had some Riley Green stuff early. I kind of expressed mine on leading off. I don't know if you did. Any thoughts on Riley Green real quick?
I'm not that concerned. I don't love the lineup around him, the fact that we don't get any stolen bases, but he's not somebody that I'm like ditching or dropping or selling for a huge discount or anything like that.
Appreciate you, Brennan. Everybody on the Twitch here. Would you trade Maikel Garcia for Wilyer Abreu? Yes.
Yes. Heartbeat.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Lawler or Kurtz? Kurtz.
Lawler has nowhere to play. I don't even know where they'd put him when he comes up.
Yeah, Cattell, from all reports, Cattell's going to be back on Tuesday, and Lawler's playing second base in AAA. Play him in the outfield, and then maybe there's something. We already talked. Oh, yeah, that was that. Let's see. We're at the end. Let's do like two more here. Correa, Holliday, or India rest of season?
I'm taking India. I like India a lot.
Me too. Would you trade Burnes and Wilyer for Jackson Merrill? Yes, I don't need to know the rest of it. I mean, we talked about Burnes, but Burnes for Merrill is kind of straight up solid. Wilyer is a platoon player. Getting Jackson Merrill here at a discount, love, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Loves these. All right, there you go. That is awesome. You guys killed it. Thank you for everybody that super chatted. Thank you for everybody that chatted. You put yourself in a position, by the way, for you guys to potentially get that jersey, that Nico Hoerner autographed jersey, as long as you're subscribed. If you put in questions, awesome. Make sure you are subscribed, and you've got an opportunity. All the videos this month are eligible, so you can go on another one. I don't think you don't get like extra entries, but as long as you've commented, you're good to go. And one of you are going to be taking this Nico Hoerner autographed jersey home, and we'll be so happy for you. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, because this is Wednesday every 4 p.m. Eastern. We're here. Joe Pisapia will be back on this. We're talking with you, plus leading off drops about an hour after it's live. You want to catch it live? Twitch.tv/FantasyPros. And that'll get you covered 12 p.m. Eastern. Pisapia and I live. Orrico and I are live right now for the next couple days, so you guys can come and hang. We're talking about the latest things, bets, home run boards, all the fun stuff. We appreciate you doing it. And if you just can't wait to have Joe Orrico in your life, or myself, you can find us on Twitter at Joe Orrico99 and at Is It The Welsh. Joey, that concludes our shows finally, my man. You don't have to hear me anymore. You don't have to see my face. That's a marathon we just did, dude.
It's a lot of fun, man. Tell Joe to head back on vacation next week. I love getting to catch up with you and do these shows together, man. It's a marathon on all the different platforms, but I hope we were able to help some people out today.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to go. I was going to maybe see him tonight, but I don't think so. I might see him tomorrow, definitely on Friday. Joe Pisapia out here. We're thinking about maybe doing that home run contest, me and him live in person. So be on the lookout for that. It should be fun. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you guys tomorrow live on Twitch, 12 p.m. Eastern. You guys have a fantastic one. Thank you for hanging. And shout out to Seth for doing a great job producing the show. You guys have a good one. Peace. Peace out.
So we don't know who's doing leading off tomorrow yet, do we?
We don't. We have no idea. It's a mystery. If I can make things work, Joe's going to be